Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Wednesday, November 7th, 2012. Yes, it is the day after Election Day, and the president is still in power for another 4 years. So President Obama wins the election yesterday. Last night it was announced, and the markets are selling off a little bit today. I don't think you get a huge sell-off, but I do think we could see a weaker session today overall. Once again, take a look at the S&P 500 E-mini futures. They are trading lower by 10.5 to 11 points, right around the 1450 level. Yeah, you had a big rally yesterday, but that's typical on a day of Election Day. Not that big of a rally, but generally you'll get a rally in the market on Election Day, and then afterwards, if the Democrat wins, usually the market will sell off, and that is happening this morning. You could also see the U.S. dollar index futures with a decent pop today, up 23 cents, although they are pulling back a little bit this morning off the highs right now over the last 10 minutes. But either way, it's a nice little move up, and we'll see where this market plays out. This is a pretty significant level for the dollar. Let's take a look back at the futures. Right now, the markets are expecting President Obama to, come around and say he's going to work with the Republicans, and we'll just see a lot of gibberish. But the bottom line is the charts will tell you everything you need to know. Yesterday, you saw a big move up in gold, and gold pretty much told me that the president was going to win, as there'll be more of the same money printing, more government spending, increasing the size of the debt, and that's a sign of inflation creation by the central bankers. And gold was telling us pretty much all of that yesterday. So again, we don't want to make too much out of it. Let's take a look at oil and gold today. We'll start with oil today. Oil is trading down about $1.24 to $87.46 a barrel for light sweet crude. Take a look at the USO this morning. You'll see the USO this morning is trading at 32.25. It closed at 32.56, so that's down a bit. And again, stronger dollar will do that to oil, and that's what we're looking at. But if the dollar starts to sell off, and it is starting to pull back a little bit at the moment, then the oil will start to catch a bid higher. The same goes for gold for the most part. If we take a look at spot price of gold right now, it's up 5 points or $5 to $1,720 an ounce. The GLD, as you can see right here, good proxy for gold. Right now trading at 166.80. It closed at 166.30 yesterday, so it's up about 50 cents, representing that $5 move in the spot price. So again, a little bit of a move. It was up much higher, has come back in a little bit, but nonetheless it has had a nice little bounce over the past 2 days, and today it's trading up a little bit more, just by 50 cents, but it is up a little bit. And if the dollar comes in, I would expect gold to continue to get more of a bid here at this stage of the game. Gold was very, very oversold going into the elections, and now it is getting a little bit of a bid. We'll have to watch and see how that dollar plays out. That could tell us a lot more a little bit later. Now, there is some news out of Europe that you should know about. It looks like, we talked a lot about it yesterday with German factory orders falling. Also, industrial production, it looks like, fell as well. It was much worse than expected, and again, you're starting to see Europe coming back into play a little bit here as things are starting to slow down there. I also believe the European Central Bank President Mario Draghi made some comments about Germany as well. So again, there's going to be some comments, and there's going to be some market moving events coming out of Europe, probably short term, but they're worth noting, and you do want to keep an eye on it. Right now, you do have Italy down 1.4%, Spain is down 1.12%, and then you have the CAC 40, which is France, down about 0.75%. Same with the German DAX, and FTSE 100, which is England, London. They can print their own money. They're only down 0.3%, so not a big deal there. But you do want to keep an eye on the European markets, as it is very important. Now let's take a look at some stocks in the news today. I did go over a lot of stocks this morning, but I'm trying to find just the most liquid names to give you. There's a lot of stock earnings today, but they're not big movers. And if I don't see a big move, I really don't want to even show it to you, because it's really not it's not a great gap play. So let's take a look at this Sodastream, which is on a light volume side. This is a very strong gap up. Now the stock closed yesterday at 34 bucks, trading at 36.90. Did trade as high as $39. I have a very good resistance level at $40.86. So keep that on watch, 40.86 if it gets up there. But this is a strong gap, and I'm trying not to have you guys short strong gaps. You want to be real careful with strong gaps. So right now the gap up, although it's the market's Sodastream is already overbought on this gap up, it is a strong gap up, and the stock is generally a light volume stock. It rarely trades over 1 million shares. Yesterday it traded over 1 million on the decline. Today it looks like a strong gap higher, so you want to be careful with that. I mean, it has upside potential, probably to 40.68, maybe even $43, $44. But again, it's a strong gap higher today. Another stock I'm looking at is this VHC, which is Vernet X Holding Corp. Now this one sold off yesterday as well, all the way down to the $26.29 level. Today you're getting a big pop all the way up to $34 and change. 34.06 is very good resistance. It is also a gap up there too, so there's going to be pretty good resistance there. Next level after that though would probably be 36.81. Prior to that there's going to be a gap fill. Nope, that's it right there. I'm looking at 36.81 would be your next resistance level, and then it's going to be 38, probably $39. So again, this is a strong gap. It's not an easy short. It's a light volume stock. Generally trades 600,000 shares on any given day, 500, sometimes 300. These are not easy to short. So again, if you own them by some chance, you just ride them out, trail your stop real quick because they're already overbought now. But they're hard stocks to fade because of the light volume. Now here's one that I'm looking at this morning. Agrium. The stock closed at 107.15. It's trading down to $99.22. I've got a couple levels here. The first one is going to be around 96.57. If that could overshoot though by a point, I can't rule that out, and that would take you to 95.41. So it's hard to say exactly where this one would wind up with some support at 96.57 or 95.41. So you have to have that dollar range in there. The next level after that I have is $91.38 or $90.17. So I'm getting two different readings, and they're a little bit hard to pinpoint. But I actually like this $90.17 level probably the best, because you have 90 bucks underneath it. There's some other support levels just underneath it if it overshoots. So that's a good one. And then really it's down to the 87.34 level, possibly the 84.50. I mean, that's the best I could do today with this one. It's a little bit on the tougher side, not giving us a clean read, and sometimes that happens. So we'll see if it even does get down there. But again, you're going to have to look at this one closely and determine if the setup is right, or if not, just leave it alone. No reason to force anything in this market unnecessarily. That's just the way it is sometimes with the gaps. Sometimes they're pretty nice and they give us clean reads. Other times they just don't give us a great read. Here's another one, Perrigo, that is falling this morning. Closed at 115.37. Today it's trading around the 110.25 level. I think traders could look at a little spot around here for a potential bounce. I'd look down at 108, maybe make it 108.75, 108.85, right in there. I think there's a potential bounce area. Maybe it overshoots into the 108 level, but there should be some support. This is another fairly strong gap down. You're dealing with a real light volume stock, so you have to look lower. So I'm going to say 108, 80, 108, 70, 108. Maybe it's even 108.20, somewhere in there. And then after that, it's going to be the 104.85 level. So you have to look at these levels right now, especially with light volume stocks. They can easily overshoot, and I really try to stay away from giving you guys any of these light volume levels, because they can they can go higher and lower than you actually think. So again, That's what you have to look for. There also could be weakness in a lot of stocks like Cleveland Cliffs today, Freeport McMoran. The dollar is strong. So again, remember, when the dollar is stronger, all the base metals, industrial metal stocks, they should come under pressure. BHP, maybe another one. Freeport Mac, Cleveland Cliffs, you could see it pretty clearly already. That stock looks like it's down about $1.50. So again, watch for weakness there. But if the dollar starts to pull back, these stocks are poised to get a bounce. And you can see even here, Cleveland Cliffs getting a little bit of a bid. Why? Because the U.S. dollar index is starting to pull back off the highs. So if the dollar pulls back off the highs, watch those base metal names. They could give you bounces. I believe there is some economic data out today. You're looking at, I believe, at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock it is. I think you have consumer credit by the Federal Reserve. Okay, so that's the only economic data that I see, and that'll be out about 3 o'clock. So, that could move the markets a little bit, but generally the charts are going to tell you everything you need to know. Just watch the dollar, as the markets should trade inversely to the dollar. All right, with that said, everybody, I'm going to leave it there today. I know it's a little bit lackluster, but sometimes that's the way it works out. Have a great trading day. God bless, and we'll see you on the charts tomorrow.